Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss Bitcoin's new all-time high, Pump.fun's token sale details and speculation on an acquisition, and we're going to talk about the Pengu pump on the back of ETF news. Thank you all for listening today. If you're in the YouTube section, leave us some comments. Let us know what you want to talk about today. Let us know how we're doing. If you're listening on Spaces, give us a like, give us a retweet, give us a follow, a bookmark, anything to help us out. We love you all. Also, comment. We'll read through some of those comments today. We'll get you in on the action. I'm joined today by Easy. I'm joined today by Kix. Kix, it's been about a week. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. If you look at my eyes, I no longer have AIDS in my eyes. They're a little bit bloodshot, but they're much better. And I'm wearing contacts. So life has gotten way better over the past couple of days. I'm doing great, man. Markets are we're getting a little summer pump, which is fun. I got a hell of a tan, just enjoying summer. And grinding. Dude, little alpha for people out there. I've now been programming with AI for 11 months. And it's good now. It's good now. And I have stopped using Cursor. I'm now using Claude Code. Ooh. Claude Code is next level.
All right. Well, I need the alpha here. Maybe we talk about this afterwards.
Yes.
I've been coding extensively with Cursor very heavily over the last 2 weeks, doing some stuff to level up our internal game here at Bodagos. And I'm no longer a coder. I am a project manager for AI, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm barely touching code.
You tell that little robot bitch what to do.
So that is it's been a ton of fun. It's crazy how quickly this is accelerated, in my opinion. As someone who has been like checking in doing AI coding over the last 4 years, like it's night and day what this thing can do now. But yeah, I'm gonna need that Claude Code alpha as well. Talking about contacts and glasses, my wife and I had a little spat this morning. I have contacts. I wear them like sometimes like golfing, or other times like where I'm doing like sporting events, like where glasses just aren't optimal. So like I do have contacts, and I ordered Facebook glasses, you know, like the Ray-Ban ones, like the smart glasses, maybe like 2 years ago. And like when I was ordering them, I was like, hey, honey, I'm ordering these glasses. She goes, oh, like that's cool. Like, am I gonna be able to use them? I'm like, no, I want to get prescription because I wear my glasses most of the time. She's like, oh, well, no, you can just wear contacts, and then I can use them too if you get the other kind. So this morning she finds them. She's like, why don't you use these? I was like, because I don't wear my contacts like ever. So like when I'm like want to use them, I don't use them.
You're like, this is all your fault.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and like you haven't used them once. I should have just gotten prescription. And we had a little fight this morning about
those.
That.
Are always fun, dude. It gets the blood flowing in the morning.
Yeah, a little testosterone going in the morning. Yeah, just funny story I thought I'd share for anyone who cares. But that being said, we have a ton to talk about today. Kix, why don't we just run the weather report and then talk about all these big stories we have?
You got it, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Thursday, July 3rd. The majors are up on the day with Bitcoin over Thursday, July 3rd. Hold up.
I sent you in the private chat. Hold on. Private chat.
What the heck happened there? Wow, dude. That's a rookie mistake. That's how you get fired. Whew. Can't be having that happening. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Thursday, July 10th. The majors, the numbers look right this time. Bitcoin, new all-time high yesterday, currently sitting just under 112K. Ethereum led the majors on the day and is just under 2,800. Solana is at 157 and Hype is at $41. Over the past 24 hours, Pump.fun announced the details of their Pump token sale. 15% of the 1 trillion token supply will be available for the public at 0.004 cents per token. The sale goes live Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hyperliquid has added Pump token perps at 3x leverage, and the market is now trading at a $5 billion FTV on $95 million worth of volume. Next up, the SEC acknowledged Canary's filing for a spot Pengu ETF. This sent the Pengu token on a 30% run, and it is led all top 100 tokens on the day. Now sits at a $1.2 billion FDV, 5x from the lows, a 2x from 2.5 weeks ago. Finally, it was a big day for AI news as OpenAI announced a AI-powered web browser and X released Grok 4. This came as Linda Yaccarino stepped down as X CEO. There's a Polymarket bet on who's going to be up next. That's it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Kicks.
You know what's funny? The July 3rd didn't trip me up. It was Bitcoin at 109K. I'm like, that's not right.
Yep, that'll do it. All right, let's take a look here. Next CEO of X. Polymarket. No CEO is
Nikita
leading
Beers.
at 22. Nikita Beer at 10% is interesting. Mahmoud Reza Banki, Elon Musk at 15, Grok at 5%. I feel like he'd be crazy enough to do something as name Grok the CEO.
That's funny, actually.
That'd be such like a weird a weird play. But by the end of 2023, Grok might be the most qualified, or the end of 2020, end of 2025, Grok may be the most qualified CEO candidate. Who knows where we're going to be in another 5 months with the speed that AI is developing. Mr. Beast at 3%, Jason Calacanis at 2%. There's some good names on here. So you think Nikita Beer here, easy?
Yeah.
I would know that all day. No way he's going to be CEO. He doesn't even want to be CEO.
Is
Stop it.
Is this Pump Solana?
That would be sick.
Nikita Beer goes, I'm CEO now. I'm an advisor for Solana. Solana is the official blockchain of X.
That would be sick.
Every DGen is going to be saying that. Every DGen. All right, we have a lot of stories today. We got price action. We got pump fund sale. We got Pengu. What do you want to go with first, Kicks? I'll throw it to you. Where do you want to go? Dealer's choice.
Let's go pump fund sale, dude.
All right, pump fund sale it is. All right, token distribution. Let's see here. 33% initial coin offering, 13% initial advisors, 20% to team, 24% community initiative, 3% to live streaming rewards, 2.4% to ecosystem fund, 2% to foundation, 2.6% liquidity and exchanges. Jumping out to me, 20% for team seems high. 3% for live streaming is interesting. Easy. What jumped out at you on the tokenomics for Pump Fun?
The unlocks.
Yep.
The only thing locked are early investors and I think team.
I think team's on a year vest.
Yeah. 1 year cliff than linear vest.
Yeah. So normally you'd have a longer cliff for team, right?
I think the pre-sale basically being completely unlocked for everybody is the most interesting. It's also that the pre-sale raise is at $4 billion for both private and public. So that's why I'm like, dude, 4 feels kind of free.
I went long at 5.2.
So you're underwater.
Yeah. Slightly underwater here. Long at 5.2. We're sitting at 4.9 right now. I feel like this goes to 6+.
Yeah, but it's a timing thing. Like you could see some typical airdrop 24-hour sell pressure.
It's not going to be an airdrop, right? Isn't that coming later? Or is that not the case?
I mean, it says community and ecosystem incentives is fully unlocked, right? But maybe it's partial airdrop, partial vested.
Yeah, I don't know. So community, I see what you're saying. 24% community initiatives. So it's it looks like it's linear up to a year.
Yeah, because I think they're smart enough to know there'd be a ton of FUD if they pre-sales fully unlocked, foundations fully unlocked, but all of their users are locked up for a year. They wouldn't do that. But I can also see why they wouldn't want to fully unlock it. I could see them, you get 25% of whatever your airdrop is up front, and then the rest, vests out.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I do like that they're coming out with like a high float percentage. Like they're coming out with close to 50% float, right? Maybe a little less, but it's not like a low float, 5% float kind of token, high FTV. Like they're coming out of the gate with a lot of unlocked tokens, which I actually think is a good thing.
Yeah, I think I agree. So we're
They
gonna
could use
see.
the game theory, the unlock too. If it's like if you claim now, you get 10%. If you claim in a year, you get 100% of it. Technically, it's still fully unlocked. It's just a matter of when the claim happens. They could also delay the claim. Like they could be like the airdrop doesn't happen for 6 months. That's not a lock. It's not a vest.
I just think that would be FUD. Like, I think they want to keep it like FUD free. So I think they want to reward their users and then think that the people that do sell potentially, put it back into Pump.fun coins and they get that flywheel on the 25% revenue buyback.
Maybe. I feel like this green community and ecosystem initiatives, which is like the airdrop. I think this is the sell pressure right here. This is the sell pressure you're going to see. The people who are participating in the token sale aren't dumping it out of the gates. And then liquidity and exchanges, I mean, that's just exchanges. The foundation probably isn't sell pressure. And then the live streaming being 3%, like I don't think that's going to be sell pressure. As like if you're live streaming on Pump.fun, you
They're not
believe in
going to give the
Pump.fun.
full 3% to active live streamers though. That 3% is unlocked to then be used as capital to bring in new people.
Yeah,
right.
They're probably going to airdrop 10% of that max, 0.3%.
Not even, dude. Like
maybe 1%.
I mean, the live streamers who live stream now are going to be very happy, I think, because it's a very small number of people doing it.
Yeah.
So I think those people will be quite happy getting like a reward, but it won't be like, dude, they're not getting $30 million fucking dollars.
Deku asks in the comments on YouTube, what's the point of buying Pump token? What is the use case?
Flywheel, baby.
So yeah, use case is going to be, first of all, it's going to have a 25% rev buy and burn back. So there's actual value accrual to it instead of it being like an abstract governance token or what have you. So there's that. And then they're doing a massive raise. So they're going to have even more liquidity. And my guess is that they're going to use that to grow and expand their product offering out of just, Pump.fun and PumpSwap.
Yep. Revenue share. I mean, most tokens, like it's like, why? What's the use case? Like Uniswap's token. They don't even have rev share right now, and they're sitting at multi-billion FTV. So I don't think you necessarily need use case, but this has it, sort of like Hyperliquid with the buy and buyback and burn, essentially. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't think we see a large percentage of that 24% immediately out of the gates unlocked. So I think that there is going to be a squeeze on supply. Like this is my thesis going in. Squeeze on supply. I think that people are going to be trying to full port this on exchanges. They're going to be going to all the different exchanges to figure out who has supply left. I think that people in the US and Europe who need a KYC and can't participate are going to FOMO in maybe even before the sale or like as the sale goes live. So I long at 5.2 bill. I expect this to, I probably do take profit at like 6.5 and 8 is what my thought process is. Maybe we get to 8, maybe we don't, but I'll take some profit at 6.5. I'll take some more at 8 if we get there.
I mean, the nice thing with perps, and if the perps come down closer to 4 billion, is you don't even have to participate in the pump sale, and you can get probably a better entry, or a very good entry, rather than like FOMO fighting in. Also, Clemente hooked me up with a Chilean passport. He knows some guys in the government, so I actually can participate in this sale.
Insider Clemente strikes again. You're listening on yesterday's show. Clemente not only an insider in Goblin Town, but the Chilean government now. Anything to add on Pump.fun? Is there anything else you're interested in here?
I think the play or the bullish, the bearish case is easy for anyone to think of, right? It's like, blah, 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 bonk, taking market share, revenue down, right? The bear case is easy to define. The bull case, and I think just something that most people in investing kind of struggle with is that, an equity or a token that represents a project you have to buy it thinking of what the future holds, not the present, right? And that's how all like stocks work, right? They're baking in future earnings. They're baking in, if you look at a growth tech stock, right? It's baking in the potential of what this thing can do over the next couple of years. So you have to think of what can Pump.fun do with all of that cash, and what are they going to do with all of that cash? I think that they could go into perps potentially if they want to compete. I think they can go into the casino route. Right. There's lots of like adjacent, business verticals that they can get into. So I think that their first acquisition will be telling of their strategy. I think streaming's already showing that maybe they're trying to go for like this, like a kick style move. And for those that don't know, like Kick started as a online crypto friendly gambling website, and then they went after Twitch with live streaming. And last I heard, Twitch had 240 million unique viewers or something like that, and Kick had 180. So Kick's done a great job of taking that market share from Twitch. So I can see Pump trying some of the same stuff.
Yeah, I agree. On the streaming end, I think that they're going to have the marketing budget to do something. You talked about the speculation on acquisition. Easy, you made a post about this. What are your thoughts on who Pump.fun is going to acquisition? And for some context, Elon posted saying, talking about like the sale and then how like they're going to use the money. Part of it's growing the team, and he said our first ever acquisition will be announced soon.
Also, a little ageism. If you're young and hungry, so they don't want to hire old people. We're probably too old for them.
Yeah, can we file suit?
Yeah,
I think we could. I think we
Any
could.
thoughts on the acquisition here? I know you're saying
I think it has
company.
to be some streaming platform. Like, it's really tough to say like exactly who it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of my thing. Is like, it could be a clipping platform, a media distribution platform. There's gonna be something. You know, like what exactly is it? Who knows? But I think it's gonna be something to help them get more eyes, more exposure on what they've already been building. So. Also, someone commented was like, "Yeah, outside of the U.S., when they say acquire, it could be people." So, like,
like an acqui-hire.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, they even said in there we're going to grow the team through hiring or strategic acquisitions,
exactly.
right? So, like, yeah, doing acqui-hires and stuff like that. I like what Easy said. I think those are all valid things. I also think they may just be looking for like more ways to grow revenue, and that's why I'm thinking like casino gambling, perps, those kinds of things could make sense as well.
What about actually acquiring WAP?
No,
they raised
WAP just got like $1 billion investment from what's the guy's name? One of those e-com guys that people love.
I might be missing one. I saw $800 raise or 800 million valuation in July 2024.
They got some stupid, but yeah, I forget what the guy's name is. Iman Ghazi.
What is WAP? I know the song.
WAP's like a community platform that like they do clipping, they do community Discord stuff, a subscription model so you can pay to like join. Yeah,
it's like like a subscription gated, like a subscription gate essentially with some other like community type deals in there. The round also had participation from the Chainsmokers, Peter Thiel and Kevin O'Leary. That's like a fun group. Get those three.
You got to get the Chainsmokers in on it.
Like, you know who we need? We need the Chainsmokers on this one. Interesting. Yeah, so probably not going to have the capital to acquire a WAP unless they included equity as well. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens there. But I mean, they're raising if they sell out at a $4 billion valuation. I mean, Pump.fun's arguably bigger than WAP.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's exciting. It's Pump.fun is a very controversial product. There's people out there that love it. There's a lot of people out there that hate it. I just look at it from a business perspective, right? And I mean, their team created a D app that made 600 million plus in revenue, and now they're going to do a 4 billion raise. As an entrepreneur, it's just like that's winning on a massive scale, and you made it easy. And I think
They won the game.
They won the game, and I mean they're literally the Bored Ape Yacht Club Yuga Labs of this cycle on an even bigger scale. And so they won, and some people are like, what are they going to do with the billion? Are they just going to is this exit liquidity? Right. It could be, or they actually have plans to grow, expand, and they want to be a top 10 coin or a top 20 coin. Right. So.
Yep. I think I'm bullish long-term. I'm scalp trading short-term, but I would be holding probably spot long-term. Maybe I'll DCA into spot at some point. I think it's also interesting to use it, frame it as this is a way for institutional investors to just get quote unquote meme coin exposure. It's like someone said on the timeline, hey, buying Circle is stable coin exposure. Buying Pump.fun is like meme coin exposure, essentially. Or the most pure form of meme coin exposure you can get.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, you got to think of where where the future is going and where these guys can take it. I know I already said that before. And I also think that you just have to remind yourself of what the typical airdrop sale, lots of liquidity playbook is. We saw it with Kaido. We saw it with lots of other examples, but basically they're going to launch, let all of this liquidity sit, and they're going to let it flush out for a couple of days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, right? And what they want to do is they want to get the coins from the people that want to dump into people that see upside potential. And then when that happens, they'll start making announcements. So they'll probably announce the acquisition. They'll probably announce what they're trying to target next, right? The only thing I wish that they went maybe a little harder on was the buyback, just because we've seen the success of Hyperliquid, right? And the fact that the team owns 20%, and that the team already has $600 million, and then this raise that doesn't have to go to the buyback, right? So how much are they raising? 600 million or a billion or?
15 trillion tokens at 0.004 cents, 600 million.
Okay, so 600 million, they made 600 million. Let's say they spent 200 million already. They have $1 billion, right? They have $1 billion, plus they own 20% of the token. I think if you put this at 100%, right, like a Hyperliquid style, it could create a massive flywheel. One reason why they may not be doing it is they want that 75% to fuel additional things that they want to do and grow, right? And they don't have, Hyperliquid is probably running its own market making on Hyperliquid that's funding the team, right? And I'm not sure Pump.fun has that kind of side revenue generating thing that would allow them. So I understand why it's maybe 20%, but even 50%, right? 50% just sounds phenomenal. And that's still a lot of revenue for their team. But that's still a variable that can be changed, right? They could start at 25 and they could bump it to 50. They could eventually take it to 100.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of those levers they can turn over time, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't think right now, you're not at peak mind share. You're not at they don't have the streaming product. They don't have the product in place right now that's gonna give them a moat. We saw that the moat is in danger if they're just a meme coin platform with Let's Bonk overtaking them over the last week. So right now,
Manny's saying 40 million, they could pay 40 million to Hyperliquid and get the Perps platform with their revenue on top integrated into Pump.fun. Not saying they're going to go that route. With the streaming play, it seems like they may be trying to push a little bit more on social, which lends credence to the acquisition ideas that Easy had in his post.
Yeah, a lot to look out for this one.
Exciting stuff though, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, next week's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Especially if we're still sitting at all-time highs here with everything else, and we're seeing everything.
Yeah, good time to raise.
They quite literally somehow timed the best possible situation to raise.
Some people just have God's plan, like aligned with their timing. Other people just get unlucky and they're launching at the worst conditions, whatever. These guys are like, you know, token sale into Bitcoin breaking through all-time highs, and then also timing going into Q4. What a better time to launch a token. I've always said the best time to launch a token is in the summer, because you give it time to kind of get digested and get the coins circulating into hands of believers. And then you're going into Q4, which is always a great time for crypto.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I think it's going to be a success either way. I want to move on, though. We've been talking about this for a while. The next thing I want to talk about is Pengu. The SEC basically acknowledged the Pengu ETF application from Canary. Pengu ran heavily on the day, up now 28% on the last 24 hours, 1.7 bill FDV, 1.2 bill circulating. My question is Pengu potentially a buy here? Anybody have interest in Pengu before I give my thesis?
give your thesis. I think we like are near rejection zone. Give me like 1.7 bill, hold that level, and I'm more interested.
Okay. My thought process.
Yeah, I mean, I think the chart looks great, but it's also expensive. But I wish I sold my Penguin and kept my Pengu. No, I wish I sold both of them and then bought the literal bottoms of Pengu and wrote it up for a 5x, right? Memes are tough for me. I've never been great at memes other than swing trading them, just because it's hard for me. Like a pump token or a hyperliquid token is way easier for my brain, right? To just like wrap around the, why am I going to like hold this like thesis? Why could this go to this price? Like for me buying this here, like, you know, can it go to 2.4 billion? Cause I like a 2x, right? It'd have to break through this first level of resistance Easy was talking about and getting up to that next level. Even though I'm a big fan of that entire company and ecosystem, it's just a harder thing for me to be like in my head, this is why this is going to go to this price. And maybe I'm an idiot for that. But I also have learned the hard way that like, you got to stick to the things, you know? And I don't know this, but I mean, this is great. And I think a lot of people in the Bodaggos community got in on these things, you know, relatively early. So,
yeah, my thought process
good on you.
Pengu. So they filed for an ETF. Where do you put a Pengu ETF in terms of approval odds versus a Doge ETF?
The same exact tier.
Same exact tier.
Honestly, no. Maybe I think I put Pengu higher.
Okay, so Doge is sitting at a 10x, not only in price, a 10x in price and a 20x in market cap right now on Pengu. Van Eck is pushing Pengu heavily. Like TradFi is already in Pengu. You can look at Pengu as just not like, I mean, as like a different class of meme coin than anything else, and just reframe what you're looking at. So like retail institutional investors could say, why buy Doge, which is a pure meme, versus Pengu, which is also like sort of like permeating society through toys. Like they're in Walmarts. There's like other use cases here that that's actively happening versus like a pure meme play of Doge.
Yeah.
Retail coming in and saying, hey, I'm late on Doge. I missed this. This thing is at this price. I can get the only other meme coin available in an ETF for 1/10 of the price. I think there's some repricing here where Pengu closes the gap on Doge. That's my thesis on like the bull case of Pengu. And irrespective of what other meme coins may do going up or down, as long as they're like in this class of approval odds of Doge and not many other or no meme coins also get these sort of ETF like filings, I think Pengu could really outperform.
Well, how important do you think is the ETF approval to the success of the token?
Well, this thesis, it's basically paramount. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I don't know how the SEC is approaching these things. I don't have like that insight. I haven't researched it. Like what? Because Solana still hasn't been approved, right?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, they just haven't. I mean, not like final approval to like launch, but it looks like it's going to be lightly. I'm going
It's
to bring
green
up,
lit already.
yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
going to bring up Eric, Eric B. There he is. I'm going to try to find their approval odds. So this is Eric Balanchunas, ETF analyst for Bloomberg. These guys have been releasing odds on ETF approvals, essentially. So this is from June 10th. This has been updated.
Did Solana get its ETF approval and start trading?
The Rex shares conversion started trading. Like there's like a bunch of them that are still going to start trading.
But it got approved.
Yeah, I think yes. So this is from June. So like this is odds of success from June. Doge he has it at 80%. So if you think that Pengu is similar to Doge or higher than Doge, it looks very likely that ETF will go through, according to Eric B, who's been pretty spot on with some of these.
But has he mentioned Pengu, Eric B?
No, because
like all of those are chains, not Dogecoin, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is a Doge chain. I can see if he's ever mentioned Pengu. I mean, he's talked about Pengu once.
Yeah,
just on the initial filing, but he hasn't listed it in terms of like his odds. Like he's not including it there.
Yeah,
maybe needs to see like now that it's been acknowledged, maybe that like qualifies it to include it with the odds.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that's my thought process on where we are. Like, even if it's like closer to SWE at 60%, which is another Canary product, where Canary is the only one who has filed for it. Like 60% odds on potentially a 5x from here just feels attractive. So that's my opinion on Pengu. That's where I think we could go. 5x, 6 billion, new all-time highs. So this is another one I'm targeting to DCA into.
This past your breakout, longing breakouts, right?
What are you saying? Yeah, I mean, this is, yeah, right here is like, well, I mean, really, I should have bought this one here at 870 2 weeks ago. First, like big volume candle, almost breaking out. I mean, but I guess this one here is breaking past these older wicks for highs that we saw in May. So, yeah, I mean, I like this. I very much so like this. Anything else on Pengu before we move on?
No.
All right. Next up, I don't know who wants to take the reins here, but I would love to see some charting of Bitcoin, looking at the majors on this run.
I'd love to see Kicks' charts.
All right. You've been volunteered, Kicks.
What do you want charts of?
I would love to see like what you're thinking about Bitcoin here after we broke through all-time highs, what you're looking at, MACD, where you're targeting, what you're thinking, what the charts are speaking to you.
Sure, dude. Let's fucking do it. I don't know why everything's running so slow today.
You got too many background agents building code for you.
Facts. Yeah, I mean, chart looks good, man. Where's the MACD at? Right here. Cool. So good at the weekly. I mean, it's wild because like this kind of like move right here is just not like these typical kind of rounded, nice, smooth, rounded swings that we see, which is like, I think that's just like, macro, right? Macro's like, fuck your MACD curl. We're just buying the shit nonstop. So I mean, I think short term, right, 120 is where it can go next. And I definitely subscribe to the. I saw Pio say something where he's like, people are looking for like crazy breakout candles and stuff like that, and he thinks it's just going to be more of like a slow grind up. I think that's very, very realistic. When we look over at my favorite Ethereum, I think the big resistance is right around 3K on the short term. So that's where it could see some
Hey, Manny's here.
Yeah, we
some
brought
consolidation.
we brought
What's
in
up, boys?
we brought in the YouTube commenter into the
Oh,
the
let's
actual
go,
game.
dude.
Dude, I've made it. I have made it. Hang on,
Let's
let me-
go. What's up, Manny?
Dude, not a whole lot, man. Just vibing, dude.
Looking good, dude. Looking good. Summer's been good to you. Yeah, on the monthly with Ethereum, little MACD curl here, so that can help it break through some resistance. But yeah, it's been trying to break through that 2,800 level, which is the trend. I think if it gets above that, it's very, very bullish. Let's pull up Solana, Easy's home turf. Solana in the red right here, but then trending up here, which is like sitting on that moving average, which is actually pretty nice. So maybe that ends up doing good. And then we got Hype, which is just, best chart in America. Just look how phenomenal that is right there.
That's a good chart, bro.
Good chart. And that's my
Just lives-
TA.
just lives at the top end of that Bollinger Band.
Dude, just that's what buybacks look like, dude.
Manny, we brought Manny up here. Manny's been giving us tremendous TA. He joined us as a guest on the Daily Bone a few weeks back when the team was away. Manny, what do you see? I'm always curious to see your takes. You always provide a different perspective when we're looking at the majors.
Yeah, so I went down like an AI rabbit hole and then coded an agent that built all these custom indicators for myself. So it's like this PhD C# math guy, and this has been pretty spot on for the most part. So pretty much what we're looking at is maybe come back down, touch 109, and then that'll slingshot us up to like 128. And the 1618 is at like 139, 140. And then I did some polls like going all the way back to like 2019, and that's like 348, which is pretty out there, but it could happen, right? But right now my target's 132, 300.
Where's that 34? Where's that 348 lineup timeline? Is that like basically November?
Next week?
November
Yeah.
this year. Wow.
Yeah, November of this year. But yeah, I don't know. It's been pretty out there. Pretty much all I look at is whenever this thing is in the green, under this green line, that's when I'll look to buy. Anything over the red, I'm like cautiously optimistic, but I'm a long-term holder. So I just accumulate whenever it touches this green line. And that's kind of
What is
what
that?
I've
Is
been
that
up
green
to.
line the algorithm, or is that like the moving average?
That's the algorithm. So it's a power law indicator, and pretty much whenever you touch the green, it's a good time to buy. You can do this. I did it for Bonk too, and it got like a 250x on Bonk with the
Damn.
Mexi chart. Yeah, on here. So if you scooped any time down here, you were able to get like 160 on all of those moves, like 167%. So yeah, those have been kind of cooking. My Bonk target's like quad 355 is kind of what I'm looking at on here for a move on Bonk. Let's see what else. What else is I looking at? I can pull up the Sol chart too. Sol's looking pretty good. Trying to find the oldest one. Which one was that? US dollar. Bitstamp. Yeah. Yeah, Sol's about to run to like 182. So that's kind of
What time frame?
Let's see. By August 2nd.
August 2nd. Easy. What's your Sol target for exit?
450.
450. And you think we're going to hit that Q2 next year?
Maybe. If we don't, I'll be holding Sol till it goes back to zero. We don't sell it till it's $450 per Solana.
And then are you full stacking at 450 or DCA?
One wick, one sell button, one candle.
Yeah, man. I mean, we just hold above the 168, 185. We hold that range. Yeah, we'll hit 600.
Right. I'm going to put these goggles on Start playing Welcome to the Jungle and just press the button like this.
And then delete your Twitter account, dude. Right off into
I'll
the
change the
sunset.
bio to retired, and that's it. Nick will not be happy.
Dude, the videos were so funny when you're like, yeah, I don't need to do this anymore. And then Nick's response video is just like absolutely hilarious.
So funny.
We appreciate you, Easy. Like, you don't have to do this every day, but you
You
do.
don't have to do this. I texted him after. I was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna put in my 2 weeks," and he just responds, "Please don't." He's like, "Please, please." He's like, "I thought you liked this job."
But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I think this is the biggest thing you have to watch out for. Oops.
Manny, what are your thoughts on the Pump token?
Oh, it's gonna send, dude.
You think so?
Yeah, when you guys were talking about it, the problem with any of these tokens is that they don't have enough liquidity for any institutions to buy with size because they get wrecked with slippage. So you think about a major financial institution, like they can't even buy Render or Helium, right? They just have to buy Sol because that's like the thing that they can dump like a yard into, right? Like they can't just like OTC $1 billion worth of it without getting wrecked on slippage on any of these tokens. So I think that's the biggest problem that we have for like large scale institutional buying is size, right? Like you can't come in with absolute size without crushing an order book. And I think that the Pump.fun token will have kind of almost enough, but people will still be just kind of long Sol just to get exposure to the whole ecosystem is my thesis.
Welcome to the show, Choose Rich. Nick, right on time per usual. How you feeling today?
I didn't realize I
Maybe
was walking
yeah,
into an intelligent conversation. I'm sorry. I want to apologize. I thought that it was just going to be complete nonsense, and Manny's out here spitting quality commentary. I'm just out here living life to the max, dude. Your favorite childless millionaire.
That dink, dude.
46-year-old crypto millionaire with a little boo boo on his waist.
Oh my God, you absolutely carried fantasy top decks this week. I want to thank you personally for that post. That was a
Came in right on time.
Is that I didn't, dude. I should be more active on Fantasy Top to understand.
You know you probably have some money sitting there. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, I think I took out an ETH or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could put a little bit of money in. You can build like yourself a nice little deck. Play your own legendary card that they give you.
What's it, 3 million now? God damn.
Yeah, this is 1.6 million when I went to bed. 3 million. Holy cow! I think you ended up like probably top 5 for this tournament in terms of like finish for heroes.
Dude, I just sacrificed myself for the good of humanity is what happens. Yeah. But anyways, well, dude, I don't want to switch the show to talk about my photo, dude. That's not what I came on here for. We were talking about actual insight, and now I'm like, all right, I want to hear about this. I want to understand. I want to make more money.
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, Manny was giving his take on the Pump.fun token. Do you have any thoughts on Pump.fun, Nick?
On the Pump.fun token itself, well, you know, as we're aware, overnight they rolled out the Hyperliquid, enabled you to trade prior to the release. That initially did well. Wow, whose chart are we looking at there?
This is my Hyperliquid.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, we're down a little bit. We bought it 5.
Pour one out for a homie. Pour one out for a homie.
Oh shit!
That's so good. Manny,
is that a White Claw?
We started pumping,
dude. There's no laws when you're drinking claws, dude.
Let's go. It's a bang bang, dude.
What time is it for you, Manny?
It is 9:50 a.m.
It's a Bang Energy. It's not a White Claw. Relax. It's a Bang Energy.
Okay, there's no alcohol in there.
Sadly,
Nick actually thought you were slamming a claw.
Some people trade better drunk, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw this. Very interesting. It looks like the market cap, what's at 4.9 billion right now?
Yep.
Well, that's bullish for this ICO, as long as this is the primary indicator that people will be looking at when they go and buy into the ICO itself.
100 mil of volume too. So, I mean, there's been a decent amount of volume on here.
So they're going to KYC you to make sure that you can. I'm going to have to send my dad money in Belgium. That seems like an arbitrage opportunity.
Yeah. The international relative arb.
It said no US and UK, but it didn't say no EU, right?
No,
Yeah.
no EU.
EU's fine.
No EU?
No EU. I believe.
That's the fuck?
Bybit said it wasn't available for EU customers.
What about Chilean?
Only Canada, Mexico, and Africa that can participate.
What about Chilean?
Bhutan, I believe, is allowed as well.
And Palau.
So I think it's North Korea, China,
Israel,
Russia,
Iran.
Yeah.
Nick, basically,
Israel.
Instead of sending money to your dad, you need to send money to
grouping them in
Clemente's
there?
dad.
You
Yeah,
anti-Semite? You
No, I'm just-
anti-Semite? I mean, that's what this has become. No, I'm just kidding.
A little bit extreme.
What
little
did
bit
you say,
extreme.
Kix?
Send money to Clemente's family in Chile.
Well, they're actually in the U.S. I don't even know if that's going to work.
Yeah, like his uncle that still lives in Chile or something.
Dude, I do have one chart to show for PO since everyone here is like a micro strategy guy. We got pretty low down here at 360. We'll probably reject here at the 457. And then
MicroStrategy?
Yeah.
How do we just go from talking about which countries can participate into MicroStrategy?
Hold on. Easy. Allow the man to speak. That was a perfect transition, Manny. Keep going.
Yeah, sorry about that. But make sure when you send Clemente money, you use Circle or USDC because there's 0 fees on the global remittance on that side. But
do you own Circle?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I hit that IPO. It was great for me.
And you're still holding?
Yeah. I have a thesis that thing will go to like 250 billion because its comp is Visa, right? So they're 700 billion, Circle's at like, I don't know, 25 or something. So I'm looking for a clean 10x on that.
Is the comp Visa?
Yeah, it's a global payment network.
Well, hold on. Let's walk through the logistics there for a moment real quick.
Yeah.
So they're going to be integrating with the payment providers, merchant solutions.
Yeah, they already have Stripe as one. They're like, when you think about like kind of all the like fee compression that can happen within like the credit card network space, we haven't seen that yet. Like it's come for financial advisors, insurance companies, but it hasn't come for payment processing yet. So you're still paying like 1.6 to about 4%, depending on the credit card network.
Well, you start with the card issuer, then you end up with the payment processor, then you end up with the whatever Rails infrastructure. So in this case, Visa or something like that, to transition from payment processor A to payment processor B, and then they just use traditional settlement stuff like wires or ACH to pay out their merchants. But where does Circle sit in that stack? They're replacing they're replacing the Rails, is what you're saying, for which Visa would be in this case?
Either that, or when you think about just global remittances, right? They do about 65 billion in fees in global remittances, like just standard people across the globe. And if you give them an ability to kind of hold a dollar versus like a peso, Indian rupee, or kind of any like third world country, and you give them USDC exposure, because everyone has phones, right? Everyone has Androids, like, right? So I think it's more about just like a quick education campaign and just say, hey, you can send more than $250 to your loved ones using USDC. And then I think once that starts to happen, that'll build like a really big flywheel on the global remittance side. And then they'll slowly start building out like the payments networks, like infrastructure, and then really come for the payment processing.
I don't know. I mean, they have a lot of competition on that front, and ultimately Visa could issue their own stable coin if they really wanted. All these different providers. You need they also, the main thing you need is the off ramp at those different places, because someone pays their rent in pesos or whatever it may be. They have to integrate with those individuals. I mean, it's interesting. I also think you then have competitors like USDT and places like that, where now it wasn't just a stable coin. They had to deal with the integrations with each of these different vendors. Perhaps it's a possibility. Have they expressed their desire to be competing in that area?
Yeah, they've expressed some desire across a couple posts and a couple of like talks that they've given. But really the biggest thing there is that they have a lot of assets on Ethereum, and LedgerLink is a company that's integrating with DTCC that's doing tokenized stocks. So they already have the integration from the Ethereum connector into like the IBM mainframe. And then when you think about a bank just holding all of their assets in USDC and getting 4% native yield for just holding cash, like that's pretty interesting to me.
Well, you say this very confidently, and I like that about you, Manny.
Hey,
and
thanks,
so it makes me think I should give money to this guy or invest in what the facts that he's spitting here. Circle has been rebounding off the 160 level, which is very good. So yeah, this is interesting. Anyone else on this panel want to buy Circle?
I only want to buy Pump.fun.
What?
I only want to buy Pump.fun.
And what did you say, Ray? Because both of you spoke at the same time.
Manny's making me want to buy it, but I think there's a couple other things I want to buy first in terms of equities. I think I like maybe Cantor is one I've been looking at, CEP.
Cantor Equity Partners.
Yeah, the Bitcoin miners are pretty slept on too. Those haven't like started running yet.
Circle here. So we bounced off a local bottom on Circle at 178, sitting at 203 right now. All-time high on a wick. Just under 300. All-time high close, 263. So we're working our way back there.
Yeah, and Manny's working his way back to them trading like Visa without them having the infrastructure of Visa, which, I mean, it's a call. Like it's
a comp. It's a comp. I'm just expecting like, I don't know, like 20% of that value, right? Like I'm not expecting 700 billion, right? I'm expecting like 100 billion, 250, anything around there is kind of where I'm at.
And then you're going to sell the shit out of it, I hope.
But yeah, 1,000%, yes. Yeah.
I mean, bro, next thing you're going to start saying is you're competent to NVIDIA.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to put Manny's level right around 2,000. Is that where we ended up? So I have this in here. So when it gets to this level, I'm going to say, what the hell is this? And I'll remember, hey, that was Manny.
That was Manny. I mean, really speaking from an ambitious level, I feel like there may be some less riskier trades.
It's wild because these guys were talking about selling to like Coinbase for 10 billion like 2 months ago. Now they're worth $46 billion.
And according to Manny, 250 billion would be a reasonable
5x from here.
Yeah, I mean, dude, have USDT pass an audit first, right?
Well, I mean, look, I'm in agreement with you on the USDT situation here, but yeah, I mean, we're coming up with some big price targets. I like it though, and I hope that it makes it there. You know, let's compare that to Robinhood and where that's going. Easy, what's your target? 400?
200, then a split, then 200 again.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're integrating loans, and you're going to have 7 rate cuts happen next year.
You get a goddamn mortgage on this thing.
Yeah, and they're going to capitalize on that, bro.
I can bet on the president in 2028 and use the collateral from my mortgage as margin to do a covered call flywheel on MicroStrategy while aping Bitcoin.
Any thoughts about their incoming SEC lawsuit?
It won't happen.
Nah.
They're covered because they partnered with Kalshi, the premier approved prediction market in the United States.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about their secured, their on-chain equities, tokenized securities, which the SEC commissioner just came out yesterday and said, yeah, so those are securities. You need to follow securities laws. And right now, any U.S. person with all these on-chain ones theoretically can go and buy securities without KYCing.
So, yeah.
Someone looks a little nervous because he's long and 15x off the lows.
Dude, it's the off-ramp where it matters. It doesn't matter what happens in the in-between. You know what I'm saying?
We all make mistakes, Nick.
That's a good legal argument right there. Hey, whoa, we just dumped these securities on the street. We don't know who was going to pick them up. That's not on us. We just put them right here, okay? You know, and they can't get them back out the other way unless they go through you guys. So it's all good.
All right, boys, I got a jet.
Man,
there's my ride.
Let's go, dude. I love you, man.
Tomorrow, maybe. Bye.
Hey, thanks for coming on, dude. You actually gave us some insight, man. That's
Appreciate
more than literally anybody's ever done on this show in months, including us.
Big round of applause for Manny. Thank you for joining us. Love to have Manny on the show.
What do you think of this shirt? Is this a weird fit? There's a lot of neck, right?
Turn sideways. All right. Other way.
Yeah, you got to work on straightening that neck out. I take creatine, and I think it'd be fine.
That looks good. It's a good fit.
If you're doing 5 grams of creatine a day,
it feels like a muscle builder shirt or something like that. I don't know, man.
I think it looks good.
I was shopping yesterday trying to find some good fucking shirts and stuff. It's tough out there, man.
I think with that shirt, how you style it is no pants, no underwear. You just walk around like ass and dick with that shirt.
Ass and dick.
Yeah, I think it would look confident, but wear shoes. Cool shoes.
Someone said got to get rid of those bitch tits. Cliff Smith, that's called muscle. You wouldn't know about that because you're sitting on your mom's couch.
Cliff, the problem is he's not taking 5 grams of creatine a day. If you're taking 5 grams of creatine a day, your muscles just got water in them. They're just so fucking swollen, hydrated.
I did get some creatine, but then I felt like I wasn't drinking enough water.
Well, then drink fucking more water, dude. I mean,
what the fuck are you doing? Drink some fucking more water.
Yes, the first rule of Web3 is stay hydrated. Have you not been on crypto Twitter?
All right.
Anything else you want to chat about today, Nick? I know you got on a little bit late. Are we ready to wrap
you asked me what my thoughts were on the Pump.fun situation.
Yes.
I mean, just pull up my latest tweets.
Okay. Okay, if you're in the audience, if you're listening right now, just pull up Nick's latest tweets.
Okay,
if you're curious about his thoughts on
okay.
Yeah, why are you asking me questions? Just look at my tweets.
That was inappropriate, Ray. You have access to pulling it up. There you go.
All right. We have Nick's take on Pump.fun here. Nick O'Neill, Choose Rich, 10 hours ago posted, and I told them, quote, our plan is to kill Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch on Solana, end quote. All right, there you have it. We have Choose Rick Nick's.
No, that's what they said in their pitch, basically, which is a ludicrous statement.
Shit, dog, it's almost like they're trying to raise 600 million or something with that.
They got to get $1 billion vanilla in the bank account, you heard?
You got to dream big, man. Manifestation, positive energy. Read a book.
Another
manifestation, positive energy. Sit up straight, drink some water, and read a book.
Yeah, dude. Get hydrated, bro. Over there, a little dehydrated prune.
Yeah,
little prune candy.
I got wrinkly ass fingers.
You know, put a little yogurt on that raisin, make it taste better, dude, or just get hydrated.
Nick, put some electrolytes in that tap water, coward.
Yeah, dude. Just fucking shit.
Nick, were you baby birding today? Is that why you were late?
I didn't sleep well last night. I ate too late. I woke up with freaking stomach acid in my mouth, basically. And so I woke up, went and drank a ginger tea, sat up for a bit and just kind of processed my life at 4 a.m. in the morning and managed to make it back to sleep at 5:30.
Oof. Did you have ice cream or something?
No, it was just like we ate fucking late.
How late?
Past 9.
What'd you eat?
Went to a restaurant at the mall. Well, my girl was
How's
trying
that
to get
fucking you up
was
so
trying
bad,
to was
dude?
trying to get Cartier shoes.
How's that
What
fucking you
restaurant?
up so bad? Like, what if you had Panda Express? It makes sense. But if you just ate a meal at 9 o'clock, how you waking up with like acid issues?
I was already having them, so it was. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, guys.
I think you manifest some of this shit.
I have GERD.
I think you manifest this shit.
Yo, I'm about to manifest these nuts in your mouth if you don't watch out, dude.
Probably lower your acid levels.
I don't even know how that would work.
Let's try it.
And that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you all for listening today. It's been a wonderful Thursday. We had some fun. We had some good analysis from a guest in Manny. We do this podcast.
Eat fermented foods, bro. Drink some fucking kombucha. Eat some sauerkraut, dude.
We do the show.
Okay, Dr. Kicks to fly by doctoring. Oh, you had a
I have stomach issues too, and I have acid too. Eczema. You got probiotics, man, in the gut. Probiotics reduce your stress levels, high quality of sleep.
I also have oversized dick situation, dude, that I've been dealing with.
ODS.
That's tough, man.
Oh,
That's probably
Jesus
gout.
Can we see what you're dealing with?
You can catch us on all major podcasting
I
platforms.
can't do that on
Apple.
YouTube, guys. I'll show you guys after the show.
Watch us back on YouTube. See what we're talking about in real time. Thanks again for listening. Have a wonderful Thursday.